Halloween may be months away, but here at the Rumble, we're looking at the truly weird and wonderful. So here's our rundown of the top 5 creepiest true stories. Before we start, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, as we post videos weekly. Let's get ready to rumble. For years there have been tales of strange occurrences. From ghosts to UFOs, history has seen its fair share of weird. But sometimes strange can be more than fiction. In fact, it can be true. At number 5, the Blue Lady. Temple Museum in Leeds, UK is famously haunted by the spectre named the Blue Lady. The ghost of 14-year-old Mary Ingham is said to walk the corridors of the stately home, dubbed the Hampton Court of the North. Many who have worked at the house have seen an apparition of a young woman dressed in blue, which gave the ghost of Mary Ingham the name the Blue Lady. History points to the tragic demise of the 14-year-old Mary, who, after falling victim to an ambush by a gang of highwaymen on her way to Temple Museum, they stole her pearl necklace. Afterwards becoming deeply depressed, which eventually led to her refusal to eat and walk the house declaring, "Where are my pearls?" she tragically died. Eyewitnesses have reported seeing carpets ripple, hearing strange noises, and feeling sudden blasts of air. One famous account states of seeing Mary Ingham's ghost while touring the famed house and mistaking her for a mannequin. When asking a tour guide how they made her look so realistic, the guide informed the tourist that the house has no mannequins. When returning to the room moments later, the mannequin of the woman had gone. The Blue Lady of Temple Museum has been seen multiple times and is as famous as the house she haunts. So, if you plan to visit, keep a lookout. At number 4, it's UFOs. Sightings of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, have been documented for decades. From the creation of civilizations to abductions, there have been numerous cases that remain unexplained. One point that is true, when it comes to the realm of UFOs, it is the presence of Area 51. This government facility is shrouded in mystery, and up until recently, US authorities refused to even acknowledge that it even existed. This has allowed fans and researchers of all things extraterrestrial to speculate what goes on behind these most secretive of walls. One theory relates to an event in Roswell, when a flying saucer crash-landed at a ranch. Many believe that the disc was a spacecraft carrying extraterrestrials, which were then taken to Area 51 and experimented on. This theory was debunked by the government themselves in the 1990s, disclosing that the UFO was in fact a nuclear test surveillance balloon from Project Mogul. Though this explanation has done little to dampen the conspiracy theories, of which still circle today. One event, however, that hasn't been able to be explained is the case of Barney and Betty Hill. This American couple claimed they were abducted by aliens in the September of 1961. Driving to Portsmouth after a vacation in Niagara Falls and Montreal, the couple claimed to have seen a bright spot of light. Looking through binoculars, Betty saw a flying craft she described as a flying saucer. Inside the craft, Barney stated that he saw 8 to 11 humanoid figures looking at him. Fleeing in a state of panic, the couple recalled hearing a series of beeping and buzzing sounds, causing their car to vibrate and a tingling sensation through their bodies. This was said to have sent both Barney and Betty into a state of consciousness that left their minds dulled. After a second series of buzzing, the couple returned to full consciousness and found that they had travelled nearly 35 miles. The case of the Hills is a strange one, as neither actively sought out publicity after the story became public knowledge. Though in 1966, John G. Fuller secured the cooperation of the couple and wrote the popular UFO book, The Interrupted Journey. The case of the Hills abductions has resulted in many skeptics trying to refute the couple's claims, with psychiatrists stating it could have been down to hallucinations. The truth is, no one has ever been able to disprove the strange event the Hills experienced, which has left many enthusiasts claiming confidently that both Barney and Betty Hill were truly abducted by aliens. At number 3, it's time travel. It is like something out of a sci-fi movie, the art of travelling through time. With popular shows like Doctor Who, the dream of time travel has hit the mainstream. Yet in some cases, the dream has been deemed a reality. Numerous stories have emerged as recently as 2018 of humans stating they have travelled from the future. Some interviews of which have been recorded with the person's identity hidden have claimed many bizarre things. The most recent, by a man only known as Noah, stated that he had been catapulted 12 years into the future so the government could find out what the future is like. He also claimed that he had been sent back in time to South America on a mission to target drug lord Pablo Escobar before he died. These are pretty outlandish claims, though many believe what the young man is saying throughout the interview, which can be found here on YouTube, is true. There have been other examples of suspected time travel, from pictures like this one showing a man in 1941 wearing what appears to be modern day clothing, to silent movies. This clip supposedly shows a woman holding a cell phone in a Charlie Chaplin film. Whatever is true or false regarding time travel, there is no denying that it captures people's imaginations, sometimes to the extent where they believe it. In at number 2, it's the Yeti. High in the Himalayas, many climbers have experienced a terrifying sight. A monster standing 6 feet tall with scraggly white fur has plagued legends since the 19th century and continues to do so today. There has been a flurry in evidence to claim the Yeti is true, but today the creature is regarded more as a legend. This, however, hasn't stopped suspected footage of the Yeti and eyewitnesses claiming to have stumbled across its fearsome path. Many explorers have deemed to have seen the creature, from James Prinsep, who concluded that the Yeti was in fact an orangutan, to Lawrence Waddell, who reported large ape-like footprints left in the snow. He concluded the footprints had been left by a bear. As the years have progressed, more and more sites have been reported, with photographs and video as evidence. One of the more prolific examples of evidence for the existence of the Yeti is the famed Yeti scalp displayed at Kumjung Monastery. The scalp was analysed by Professor Frederick Wood Jones, who concluded that although he couldn't determine the animal of which the hair came from, it was not that of a bear or anthropoid ape. There have been many sightings of the famed Yeti as late as 2011, though to this day no one has provided conclusive proof of the monster's existence or disprove those early eyewitnesses' accounts. And finally at number 1, the Loch Ness Monster. It is arguably the creepiest and strangest story in the world. The mystery surrounding Loch Ness and its most famous resident has been discussed for decades, with the first sighting dating back to the 6th century AD. However, it was in 1933 when the term monster was first used, after part-time journalist Alex Campbell reported on seeing the creature in an Inverness Courier report. Shortly afterwards, on the 4th of August, the Courier published a report by George Spicer, stating that several weeks earlier they had witnessed the nearest approach to a dragon or prehistoric animal that I had ever seen in my life. Following numerous reports, often given anonymously, the first photograph of the monster was published on the 6th of December 1933 by Hugh Gray. Whilst this attained interest, it was the photograph a year later, in 1934, that would take the Loch Ness Monster global. The famed surgeon's photograph was the first to provide the world with the clearest picture of the monster. According to Robert Kenneth Wilson, the gynecologist who took the iconic photo, he snapped 4 photographs, with only 2 developing clearly, as he saw the monster emerge from the loch. The surgeon's photo has been hotly debated for decades, and since 1994 has been popularly believed to have been an elaborate hoax, claiming that the monster is in fact a toy submarine. Sightings of the monster are consistently reported up to present day, and though many believe these to be seals or fish, the mystery of the Loch Ness Monster still pulls crowds to the shores of the most famous loch in the world. That rounds up the top 5 creepiest stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we post new videos weekly. Thanks for watching, and sleep tight.